Welcome, everybody. It is Beyond the Barricade. We are live, and we had a slight delay, but it was all my fault, so I apologize. Anyway, let's bring on the one and only, the last dragon himself, and I hope I'm saying this right, DRACO. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did. It did. That was perfect intro. Perfect intro.
Dude, man, I apologize, man. I was in the other room for the 6 o'clock chat.
It's all good, man. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm quite honored myself. Let's get it started, man. Let's get into it.
Let's get it started. So, where did you fall in love with professional wrestling? Let's start with that.
Man, if we're gonna start there, we might as well go all the way back. During my childhood, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Make sure we're all good. During my childhood, man, I went through little tough spots growing up. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Yeah, and my brother and sister, who kind of helped raise me and get to that adolescent stage. You know, the one thing we had to cope with what we were going on was professional wrestling. I remember sitting in my big brother's lap and doing our thing, man. And he would put on WWF Raw, man, and WWF SmackDown. And then it became Sunday Night Heat and then Velocity. We were watching everything, man. Every pay-per-view. Well, they're called premium live events now, but back then they were called pay-per-views. And going through it, man, it was just something I always fell in love with. I was always a great performer. Of course, that's what my family said I was meant to do, just being a great performer and entertainer. And with the athleticism that I had growing up and going into my adulthood and being a martial artist, you know, it worked hand in hand, you know. So, yeah, professional wrestling is definitely something I give a credit to helping me grow, not only as an athlete and not only as a performer, but as a person as well.
So did you go into martial arts first?
Yeah, I went into martial arts first.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What kind
of
belt?
A little trained. Look, hands are a little dangerous. You know what I mean?
Did you have a belt?
Yeah, I have a 3rd-degree black.
Whoa, 3rd-degree black belt. We lost you for a second.
Yes, sir.
Wow, man, you could kick all of our asses, I guess.
only when tempted, man. It's just as martial artists, we learned that the power that we have, you know, and the power that we're taught, it is a power, you know, and you learn with great power comes with great responsibility and all that, and you learn to control it. You know, it's very much a good thing growing up as a child because it disciplined me. It kept me straight in school. It kept me straight at home. It kept my behavior up. It kept me humble. You know, and growing up, I never got so cocky to where, yeah, I can kick ass and that's great. But you know what I mean? People don't need to know that. You know, I'm not that guy. You know, I let my hands do the talking when they need to do the talking. You know, I let my mouth do whatever. So.
Look at that. You already got a comment. When you come into MCW.
Hey, man. It's all up from here. I'm starting here, so the sky's the limit, heaven's the limit, man. So
yeah, those are my friends from Mid Southern Wrestling down south.
That's just all good.
Hey, listen, man, I love the jackets back there.
Oh, thanks, man.
Do you sell those at events?
What'd you say?
Do you sell those at events, or they're just for you?
I'm about to start, but I'm trying to get them very popular right now. I'm trying to get them over right now.
Yeah, I can see why.
I made this one first, actually. This is my champion jacket. This is the one I made my debut in Memphis Wrestling. This is one I'm about to debut in Memphis Wrestling. I kind of made this one just previously, about a month ago. Awesome. You got the yes, yep right there, and trying to get that over as well. I have fun making the jackets, man. They're a term of self-expression for me. You know, because I just started coming out with T-shirts and everything. But I said, what's something that I know people will see like when they see me? The jackets.
Right.
And I got the dragon on the back, man. You know, if I can't trust anybody, that's what my spine is for. Right. That's why the dragon's on my back. You know what I mean? It kind of acts as my backbone, my spine. It's something I can trust because I kind of came up with this creation myself.
That's awesome, man. You got a comment over here. You wrestle at 901?
No, I don't. My tag team partner in Memphis Wrestling, Gio, he's done a couple of matches there at 901. But they got some great guys over there at 901. Of course, what's his name's Marvin, but they got Don over there, Bobby Ford, Andy Mack, and they do their thing. They're very talented. A lot of places in Memphis have very talented people. Guys, I feel, and women especially, that I feel can do big names and can be big names in big companies, you know, one day. one day soon, hopefully.
Right. Hopefully, man. You got another comment over here. Let's go, Draco, Lady Drake.
I know who that is. That's my fiance, man. She's been with me for going on 6 years now.
Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you being on the chat.
Lady Draco's she's great, man. She's great. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Dan works for us at MCW.
Yeah. Don's great. We had a little seminar with Jerry Lynn that came here in Memphis Wrestling. We had a little seminar with AEW legend and coach. He's a coach at AEW, Jerry Lynn, and everybody knows Jerry Lynn, man. His stuff with RVD, Lance Storm, many names to choose from. Great guy, great coach. We got to do a couple of 3-minute matches in front of him, and a couple of guys like Don were there as well, and Don showed out, of course, and he did his thing. And like I said, Memphis, I think, has got some of the best talent professional wrestling has to see today.
Right. If you get in touch with this guy at MCW, David Clapp, man, maybe he wants to bring you on board.
I'm gonna have to check him out and give him a call.
Look at that, man! I'm bringing people together too.
Hey, man, that's what this is here for, man. We're
that's right.
Professional wrestling is supposed to connect people together, man.
That's right, man. That's right. So, where do you mostly wrestle out of?
So, I mostly wrestle out of Memphis Wrestling. So everybody knows about the heritage and the legacy that Memphis Wrestling has. Right. And me being from Memphis, I wasn't born here. I was born in DC, but I moved to Memphis in 2004 once everything got handled and situated, and moved here. I got a nice family, man, great family. They put me in education. They put me in my martial arts to where that could discipline me and mold me into the man that I am today. And when I got back from college, and I graduated from Dillard University in 2021. Came back home and I said, what is something I can do with this degree, but not only something that I want to do as well. And Memphis Wrestling was like, no brainer right there. When I joined, of course, I want to be a star, and everybody wants to be a star when they start professional wrestling training. But with me, like I've always been told, like, no matter with all of the things I went through in life, I was always told I could do it. I was never told I couldn't do it. Just based off the energy and the strong kindness that I bring out, and not only that, but the charm and the charisma, and that goes into another story.
I was gonna say, man, you got like an aura about you, man. So I can see it.
I appreciate that, man. I've been through a lot, and it takes a village to raise a dragon. I've been saying that for a while now. It takes a village, and I feel that it's my job as that dragon, to get back to the village that made me, and that's why I'm doing professional wrestling now. So one day I can make it to that big league, you know what I mean? And that big championship contender spot. And then, I can be the people's champ one day, man, but we'll get there with time, but every step, you got to keep going hard, man.
Have you been able to go to like any of the training camps for like some of the big companies?
Not yet. Like I said, with Memphis Wrestling, we have great people that come in with seminars. We've had Gabe Sapolsky, who came down from who was a WWE talent scout, and he got to look at us, and it was great. And actually, he just had a Twitter space.
He did.
He just went on his Twitter space, and he looked around from all the tours that he went to see these indie wrestling stars and these indie wrestling places like North Carolina, of course, Memphis, and Texas. And his number one guy was a guy from Memphis Wrestling, and his name's Kay Toomer. And I kind of put myself under his wing because he's great, man. The people love him when he comes out. They chant "Show Enough." He's if you remember Yokozuna, and I can't say like I remember like I was there, but watching Yokozuna, I mean, it's almost a direct reflection of that. It's a big guy who can move like a cat. He's over with the people. He's over with the guys in the back.
Right.
Kay Toomer's the man around Memphis, and not only Memphis, but in the Mid-South. If I can get to that level and then even get higher than that, that's the dream right there. But you got to start small. You gotta have mentors in this game, and you gotta have
absolutely
people that you look up to. You gotta have people that inspire you, and you gotta be around people that you're inspired by. That's how you get better.
Yeah, that's true. I 100% agree. I have a little collab with some podcasters just so that. So like you can get better and just progress and evolve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's talk about where you trained. Who were your trainers?
My trainers were Alan Steele, Derek, by God, greater than Great King. If you're in Memphis, you got to know Derek King, man. Dustin Starr was one of those guys, and the legendary King Cobra, you know, the guy who beat Jerry Lawler for the world heavyweight title down here in Memphis. He was one of my trainers as well.
Wow.
Those guys, they're old school, you know.
Right.
And I like to say, and I'm probably gonna get heat for this, but who cares? I believe that Memphis is the mecca for at least professional wrestling. Of course, you got sports entertainment nowadays, but when it comes to professional wrestling, and guys who are the big stars and have been the big stars and the legends now, all came through Memphis wrestling. Like I said, Memphis wrestling is core to the mecca of professional wrestling. So why not start there? And there were other training companies training facilities that I looked towards, actually, you know what I mean? If I could give tribute to the Nightmare Factory, you know what I mean? The guy who kind of gave me the inspiration to say, go for it, was Dustin Reynolds, the Gold Dust. He was one of my guys growing up when he was a tag team with Booker T, and they were world tag team champs. Gold Dust was definitely a guy I looked up to and inspiration by, and sort of character wise as well. You know, the way he could perform, the way he'd actually get into the Gold Dust character and believe it, and have other people believe it too.
You're right.
And that whole family, you know what I mean?
I know.
Not him, of course, his dad and his brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's doing his thing now, and it's a WWE. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So. But when he got my resume, Dustin Reynolds, he got my resume. He said, "Look, your resume is great. If anything, no matter where you go for it." And with that being said, you know, the rest is history.
Awesome. Oh, you know, sometimes they do training camps, right?
Yeah, they do training camps.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you ever thought about signing up for one? Have you ever thought about signing up for one?
I have, you know. I definitely want to sign up for a New Japan one as well, down in the New Japan dojo, because I definitely want to go to Japan, man. I feel like me and a couple of other guys from Memphis Wrestling could do some great things in Japan. Not only because, you know, we're young and we're hungry and we're passionate for it, but we have the skill set, and we've been trained right. We've been trained by the professionals in the game, and have been in the game for a minute. You know, Alan Steele, Derek King, those guys have actually been to WWE and come back to teach us, you know what I'm saying, the new generation of professional wrestlers, new generation of sports entertainers, I guess you would say. You know, and for them, I have nothing but love and respect for all those guys that come through Memphis Wrestling. And those are the guys that train, but you know, you learn from everybody, you know.
You do. Yeah. Right. But definitely, like Japan, like it's a different style.
That's a big step.
Yeah, that's a big step.
That's a big step. I know.
I knew Masha Slamovich.
Yeah.
When she first started, she went to Japan and she came back totally different wrestler.
Yeah, so they say, and I like to give tribute to that. That's kind of how like the military is, you know, because I was in the military while I was doing college as well.
Oh wow!
So when I came back, they were like, "Yo, you're not the same guy. You're not the same Draco we once knew." I said, "Well, you know, you mature and you get, you know, like I said, you get better and you get hardened, and iron sharpens iron, you know, and that's how wrestling is now. You only wrestle the best, so you can be better than that." Yeah, man.
Dude, you're like well-rounded. You got a little bit of everything in there. Be a definite asset to one of the big companies.
Well, I sure hope so, man. I appreciate that, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Hearing that so young, you know, like I said before, you know, I was always told that I could do it. You know, the one person who I just couldn't get that through that membrane was me. You know, I had to finally realize that. You know, I went to Memphis Wrestling, my first show, and they had their Super Bout, which is like their WrestleMania, their annual show. And I was at the first one that's in the crowd, you know, and I was like, I could definitely do this. Like, something is telling me I belong here. Something is telling me like this is where I need to be. I need to be in a wrestling ring.
Right.
I need to be in a wrestling facility. That was February of 2021 or 2022. I'm sorry. For a little bit, and they had a seminar that same day with Jonathan Gresham. I think Jonathan Gresham and Nick Aldis were competing for the NWA Championship and a Super Bout here in Memphis about last February. From then on, I went to the seminar, and for my first time not actually having training, but being in there doing rolls, doing bumps, I thought it did pretty well, and all the others that were around too, of course, the other wrestlers, they thought it did pretty well too. But something was telling me like, I'm a martial artist, you know what I mean? I'm not a wrestler, so and I get stuck in my head sometimes. But you know, with that brings the fire that needs to be needs to be added to the fuel. You know what I'm saying? So from then on, like months go by, and starting finally in June, I said, screw it. I'm going to the Wrestle Center. I'm going to Memphis Wrestling. I'm gonna do it because nobody can stop me at that point. And what do I have to lose? From then on, so you know what I mean, I paid my dues. I trained every day, trained every time there was training. Anytime there was time to set up the ring or anything like that, I was there for that, man. I feel everything needs to be earned when it comes to wrestling. You know, it's the same as how you go in college, and the same way how you do with anything. You know, if you want respect, you got to earn it. You know what I mean? And I'm saying I'm not demanding respect right now, but I want to earn everybody's respect that I meet, and any wrestler that you put in front of me. You know, I want your respect, and I'll get your respect because I can earn it, and I will earn it.
Awesome, man. Listen, setting up a ring is not easy. I did it one time in my whole life, and
hey, man,
that was not too long ago. And I'm 50, bro.
It's not no joke, man. Some of those
it's no joke, man.
Pillar to post, man. Those things are heavy, dude. But
heavy as shit, yeah.
Yeah, but with that, you know, that you learn more about that. You know, you learn why there's 4 posts to a ring and stuff like that. You learn what's under the ring. It's not it's not a trampoline like everybody thinks.
No, man.
It's
not at all.
You get slammed pretty hard, and you rubbing your back on the way back to the locker room. That's real.
You're hurting. Yeah, that's real. I felt what you guys are going through, man. Holy cow. But all right. So who was your first opponent when you first started wrestling?
So my first opponent in Memphis Wrestling, I debuted against a guy named Mikey Stinkerhorn. Well, they call him Mikey. Great guy, man. Great wrestler. He was over with the fans. He's a babyface guy. He's got a great gator foot kick, double foot kick, man. He's hard hitting. He knows his stuff, and he loves to give back to the young ones, man. So he loves to work. A guy I went my first house show, I'll say a guy named Tim Bosby. He's one of my other training mates, I would say, or of the graduate class of the Wrestle Center that first started. He's the Memphis Wrestling Internet champion, man, and he's a national or amateur wrestling champion from high school, man. He does his things about 6'3", 225 pounds. He's like a little Kurt Angle in Memphis, man. And we went at it in Brighton, Tennessee, for a little house show, 750 kids. I mean, they enjoyed it, you know. But we had great chemistry. The crowd was there. The crowd was live. We were live. Our energies locked like this, man. It was great. He got the win, but you know, the fans love me, man. So that's how it goes, you know. But I earned the fans' respect that day. And from then, I realized that, yeah, this is where I was meant to be. That I count that as my first one. Okay.
All right. What do you prefer, heel or face?
Whew. You asking the good questions.
That's
now,
a good question. Yeah.
I feel like both. You know, because it takes a great wrestler to not only be a great baby face, but it also makes it to be a great heel. But you know, with that's not a double-edged sword, but you know, that sword and shield. You know, for me to be a great baby face, I gotta be with a great heel. You gotta put me with a great heel. If you want me to be a great heel, like a good 1980s Memphis heel, you know what I mean? You gotta put me with a great baby face to do that stuff too, man.
Right. They say baby face is harder to be than a heel.
Well, you know, it's easier for the crowd to hate you, for the crowd to get to love you. You know what I mean? But that's all on who you're in the ring with, and that's all on how you bring it. You know what I mean? That's all on the energy you bring. If the crowd loves you for who you are naturally, you know what I mean? You got it in the bag. You know, if you're forcing the crowd to, you know, love you and stuff like that, it's kind of not going to work out, man. I mean, maybe being a heel is maybe your thing, you know?
True. All right. Tell me about an opponent you want to wrestle that you haven't wrestled in the indie scene.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I want Tim Bosby again. I'll make that clear. I want Tim Bosby again. But a guy I haven't wrestled that I'd like to, of course, K Toomer. He goes by. He's the master of Fat Jitsu, man, and he's shown up. You know, everybody's chance there as soon as he comes out of the ring. I feel that me and him could make a great rivalry, and not only that, we could be a cornerstone of Memphis wrestling history because him being the 6'3", 385-pound master of Fat Jitsu that he is, the guy moves like a cat, and me being the 6 foot, 197 martial artists, being the last dragon, and even with that case, I feel we could blow the roof off of the place, him
Right.
being the master and I'm being the last dragon, who really has the glow, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's something to test the waters, and I feel the crowd would love that, man. And that, of course, that's not on me to say, but a man has to dream,
That's awesome, man. What about states you want to wrestle in that you haven't wrestled in?
I would love to wrestle in Texas, man. I would love
Texas,
to wrestle in Texas.
huge state.
He said very
Yeah.
huge state, but
some of the wrestlers I talked to say you could just wrestle in Texas for the rest of your career, and it's like being in a different place.
Right, exactly. But definitely Texas, man. Got companies like New Texas Pro, Reality of Wrestling with Booker T's school training facility, and you got some of the greatest talent in the world at WWE that came from Reality of Wrestling back when he started in 05.
Right.
And he was a full-time wrestler on SmackDown at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So tremendous respect for Booker T. Hell, I do this. Well, I don't do the scissor kick. I do the axe kick. You know what I mean? Booker T had the scissor kick, but I've got the axe kick, man. So I give tribute to Booker T from that. Yeah, definitely Texas, man. Of course, Kentucky is one of the great ones because you got Jim Cornette there. You know what I mean? But Derby City Wrestling, of course, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. That's another place. Of course, Arizona. I mean, there's lots of places to choose from, man.
Did you ever get to meet Booker?
No, I haven't, man. One day, man. One day, when the fates collide, and the planets and the stars align, that day will come. I can guarantee you that, though. That day will come. We'll be face to face. We'll hopefully have a handshake from this. Hi, I'm Booker T. DRACO.
Nice.
Pleasure to meet you, brother. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
I had to go to a signing and I met him, man. That guy's got some freaking huge hands, bigger than mine.
That guy's, I mean, I haven't seen him in person, but you can tell just seeing him on TV. He's huge, and for a guy that two-time Hall of Famer, of course, the guy's in great shape.
Yeah,
the guy's in great shape. He can still go.
He can still go.
Respect for Booker T, and not only Booker T,
too.
The Harlem Heat as well. His brother
Stevie Ray, yeah. Yeah, I used to watch Harlem Heat and then WCW.
Oh yeah, him and the Nasty Boys, man, great rivalries.
Great rivalries, man. And they threw Sherry in the mix.
Oh yeah, sensational Sherry, man. Woo!
It's crazy.
Fire.
Crazy. They don't have like tag teams like that really anymore. That great chemistry with a female valet and stuff. I just haven't seen it recently.
Well, maybe if you stay tuned to Memphis Wrestling, maybe something.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? You got to stay tuned though.
Stay tuned. All right, I like that. What about any thoughts of coming up here where I am in New York?
Hey man, actually, definitely coming to New York in a matter of a few weeks actually.
Breaking news. Let's go.
So little thing going on back in September when after I started wrestling training. Very good friend of mine that I went to college with, and we made a pact together. We said, "Hey man, you come up. We're coming up together." I said, "Okay, cool. We got it." He called me one day, and he's getting his master's, and he's about to graduate from film school and get his master's in film.
Oh wow!
And he called me up. He said, "Hey man, one of my actors bailed on me, man. This is what I went to school for, And I said, "Yeah, I can be there, man. If you need me, I'll be there." Fired it up, did our thing. We were right there in Galveston, Texas, man, doing our thing there on the beach, and we shot the film that he needed. It was a great success. The trailer's out now. It's called Transperia. It's great, man. It's gonna be premiered on June 6th in New York at the SVA Theater. It was at the Lincoln Center. I think I told y'all the Lincoln Center. It's been changed. That's the SVA Theater, man. Definitely very excited to see the full product. Definitely excited to see my man again. Whoever's out there listening, if you look up Jakari Lister or Giles on Cam on Instagram, or Transperia, or you can definitely look on my Instagram, official Enter the DRACO, and you can definitely see the trailer and check that out from there, man. It's a great piece of cinema. It's a great piece of film, and
I'm definitely gonna have to watch that.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's got very elements of love, passion, action, of course. It's a great piece of film, man.
You might not make it to WWE. You might be a film Hollywood star.
Right. You know, Rock and Cena and Batista can do it, man. Why not me?
That's right. He'll be a mega Hollywood star instead of a wrestler, man.
Right.
You'll be like, oh well, I used to be a wrestler, now I'm a movie star.
Right. Well, hey, Rock did it, man. You know,
that's true.
Rock was one of the guys I if not the guy I looked up to when I was a kid, man. I grew up not having like a father figure to kind of look up to, you know what I mean? So I'd say Rock raised me via TV, and I guess that's kind of poor trash to say, but Rock was the man.
It's a good role model.
Oh, definitely, especially what he's doing now with the XFL, and he's brought that back and made that flourish.
Right.
And he's giving people their dreams, and that's the dream he wanted. He wanted to be a football player, you know what I mean? He wanted to be in the NFL. Right. And he became a wrestler because not that he failed at that, but with failure, you learn from that.
Right.
We've all had been to places where we wanted to go there and it didn't work out, and some people actually still fight for that same dream, but
definitely.
With that he had a backup. He had wrestling. That was what he was meant to do. He wanted to do football, but he was meant to do wrestling,
right.
And looking on to that, man, and just going past and the great career he's had and the Hall of Fame career he's had. That was the guy I wanted to be,
That's right. If all those guys did it, then Draco could definitely do it all too.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Serena.
Thank you, Serena. I appreciate that. The Dragon appreciates that.
So what do you like to do for fun? What are your hobbies?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. That WWE 2K23 came out. That's a pretty solid game. But honestly, from that, I love spending time with my family, man. Definitely taking care of my mother right now, doing my thing with her, and she was the one who helped me get through what I was going through as a kid. My niece just graduated from 8th grade, and she's about to go into high school, and time flies like that. She was just a baby in my hands. But definitely spending time with family, of course. Eating, I'd say, definitely can throw down in the kitchen.
Eating's good.
Definitely throw down some in the kitchen or something like that.
Any shows you watching recently?
Wrestling shows or
wrestling?
Definitely watching AEW. Definitely.
No, I'm saying in general, shows in general.
Shows in general. Yeah. Man, I say my guilty pleasure show would, I guess, be The Office. Everybody loves The
Office.
All right. Goofy shows like Reno 911. I love goofy stuff, man. I'm a goofy.
Okay, all right.
But shows, movies, like any movie I put on, of course, Rush Hour 2, The Irishman by Martin Scorsese.
I heard that was good. I haven't seen it yet.
Man, it's a damn good film, man. You got Pesci in there, Pacino, De Niro. Like those the only three you need. Those are the only three guys that you need in a film that can be 3 hours long and you can watch it fully.
You can watch it. All right. You ever see Goodfellas?
What?
Oh man.
Come on, man.
That is the greatest gangster film of all time.
Hey, look. Godfather 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? Goodfellas, Casino. Oh man, what's some other good ones? Heat, man.
Heat, yeah.
Definitely that. I was a big Pacino and De Niro fan. And my mom put me on that, but yeah, and those are definitely guys that I looked up to in college too when it came to acting.
Right.
So yeah.
Another show that's got me hooked. I don't know if you watch it, but Power.
Power's man. When Power was out, man, and I know they got like BMF and stuff like that and Power Book 2,
right.
but when Power first came out, man, eyes glued to the TV screen, man.
I am enjoying Book 2 more than the original series.
Yeah. Well, as you should, and as you grow and do that thing, it should be better,
Oh, so good, man.
Yeah. Yeah, 50's an icon, man.
100% icon.
Yeah, definitely that, man.
Icon. Maybe I'll get to meet him one day. Who knows?
Hopefully. I mean, New York is a hell of a town, man. You never know.
You never know.
Go in the grocery store, you see him buying some bread like 50, man. I bumped G-Unit too.
Absolutely. Any merch? Where can we get some of your merch?
Hey man, definitely if you it's always on my social media. It's all on my social media page. You just look up Draco Yes Yep. That's my official website for my merch. Of course, I've got
Oh, okay.
Smoking Toe shirts right here. I don't know if you can see it. Smoking Toe Draco.
Oh,
That's
nice.
the most popular and best-selling one right now.
I
So,
love the color, man.
oh yeah, the maroon, definitely that. I had to give tribute to my grandfather, man. There's a high school in Memphis called Melrose High School that my grandfather was the football coach there, and they were like back to back to back to back to back to back to back. You know what I mean? Football national champions in high school. You know, and the city loves my grandfather, man, and they actually gave him a day because of all the great stuff that he's done for the school system here. So he put a lot of kids through school, of course, elementary through high school, and some even college, and he's still doing that to his day. God rest his soul, but he's still doing that to this day through the foundation that our family puts in for the grant so the kids can go to school. My grandfather was a hell of a man, and this is actually one of the colors of the school. So had to give tribute to my grandfather, man.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, man, you're a good guy yourself too, man.
I'm getting there, man. You know, I'm getting there. I just have a love for everything. You know, there's a time where I didn't have a lot of stuff. You know, and you know, nobody likes having that. You know, but with the love and the support that I got from both families that I have and anybody that I've ever met, and of course my friends, my family, with that support, you know, I have no choice but to act like this. You know, it'd be totally disregarding and doing for what I'm doing if I was, you know, a cocky asshole-ish guy. You know what I mean? I just have a love for everything because everything has a love for me. You know, and that's what this world is needing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
This world needs love and
role models.
Yeah, role models.
You're a role model, man. You really are.
I really hope so, man. That's as the role models I looked up to when I was a kid, man. I want to be that for the next generation growing up.
Absolutely, man. Hey, man, thank you for being on the podcast.
And then, like I said, it's a pleasure being here, man. It was an honor for you guys to come to me and ask me to be on the podcast. I definitely said I was in it, man, from the jump.
You did, yeah.
This was great experience, man. I love it. And you guys, I wish you all the greatest success that you guys have.
You too, buddy. You too. I definitely want you to come back, man.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Let me have a title around my shoulder first, and I got
all right. Let us know when you want to talk about stuff, and we'll get you back on. All right. Plug away your upcoming appearances and where everybody can follow you.
All right. Everybody can follow me on my Instagram at official Enter the Draco, like Enter the Dragon, but Enter the Draco. You can look up Draco, the People's Champ, on Facebook. Memphis Wrestling, of course, support that. You can guys watch that on YouTube on Saturdays at 12 p.m. That's always coming on there. And of course, check out the other supporting wrestling promotions like, of course, EPW. They do their thing in Boonville, Mississippi. You got Tuckerman, Arkansas, ASWF. They do their thing as well. And I do my thing in there as well too. But check me out, man. I'm destined to blow, as they say. But no, the Dragon's gonna do what he has to do, and the Dragon's gonna be one of the greatest talents that Memphis Wrestling's ever seen, and hopefully since professional wrestling has seen. You know.
Now, I haven't seen you wrestle, but I can see that charisma coming through.
So charm and charisma, man, can take you a lot of places, I was told. So here we are now, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for coming on. As for me, I got Dickie Rods coming up next for Wrestling Is Now. And we're going to talk about that big heavyweight championship match coming up. And as for me, I will be next at Victory Pro Wrestling's Justified, Saturday night, June 10th. Make sure you go to victoryprowrestling.com to get your tickets as the unwilting Tatiana makes her debut at BPW. And everybody else, have a good night. Draco, stay on for a second. Everybody else, I'll see you in a few minutes.